Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. A quick message here. Client moment of insight, but something that I think that we all should understand. If you're dealing with any kind of narcissistic devaluation or energy, narcissists recognize their own kind. I had a request from one Mercedes, who asked me to make a video about Meghan Markle and Harry's most recent interview with Oprah. And guys, I have debated, not her request. I knew that that would be something that would probably be coming my way after the video that I made. I think it was about a year ago. And I steer clear of it because it just brought this whole like nonsense of emotions and people, and it's even become more polarized and tricky with the issues of racism and everything that have come up. I'm going to see if I can do it justice, and definitely will get a video out to you guys. But I wanted to just talk to you quickly about narcissists recognizing their own kind. There was an incident where I believe it was either Trump or somebody else said to Harry, "Good luck with her, you are going to need it." Now, someone had asked in another video if that meant that Trump was a narcissist recognizing his own kind. And what I want to say to that is that it is coincidental that he got it correct. However, what happened was Meghan threatened his power. And so what he did was he smeared her, and then he triangulated her with Harry, pitted her against Harry. Now, I have zero pity for Meghan, as any of you guys know. Here, I will do my best to dissect what is she has made. A covert narcissist is brilliant at exactly the kind of mess that she's making right now. But what I will say is that narcissists usually do recognize each other. In that case, with Trump being a narcissist as well, a malignant overt narcissist, to Meghan's covert, very insidious. And I have told you on my journey that I have found that the covert narcissists are far more dangerous than the malignant, because with the malignant, all of us can see what someone with a narcissistic personality like Trump was doing. With Meghan, it's a whole different kettle of fish, isn't it? It's fascinating, and it almost makes you want to retreat because you think, no one's getting this. No one's seeing this, no one's understanding, unless you have been abused by a covert or a malignant narcissist, and you know exactly what's happening. I will tell you, in my situation, I was dealing with a client today who was saying that people around her had mentioned that the person that she was dealing with was narcissistic, and it was other narcissists that she had had, because guys, if we are empaths, usually we are catnip to those narcissists, so chances are you've had more than one in your life on some scope, whether it's a boss, a parent, a friend, a lover, whatnot. And what I realized about that, it was the very same was true for me in my life. With a covert narcissist, I had two malignant overt narcissists who couldn't stand her, y'all. And I couldn't understand it to save my sweet little empath life. I couldn't understand it. But they devalued her. They talked about her looks. They talked about her energy. They hated her. And she hated them as well. But I just thought it was because she was the clean, pure, magical one. You know, she was a covert narc, so I was very beguiled by her treachery. What I will tell you is that throughout the years and years ago, not just recently as everything was imploding, neither of those two narcs were in my life as of almost 10 years prior, except for the covert who had remained and I cut out in the last year or two. But they both, I remember the female narcissist being like, she's playing mind games. She's doing this. She pointed out everything that I figured out later, quote unquote, figured out later, right? She said exactly who she was, who she wasn't, and what thrill she got by having me be so focused and loyal on her. But it was because that malignant narcissist wanted all of my attention on her, but she recognized her own kind, another viper just like her. The male malignant narcissist hated down to his toenails this girl and talked about her, like I said, from everything from her looks, and was always like, why do you value her? Why do you think she's attractive? She's a dog. She's this, she's that. And she was not loyal. She behaved disloyal like a rabid dog, but I never felt all the things that he felt about her until I saw them for myself. But because that was not where my mindset is and my natural proclivity is, I did not recognize it. There was a question being bantered around after this interview about the back and forth between Trump and Meghan Markle, and it made me think of that as my client and I were talking today, and I thought, yes, often narcissists do recognize their own kind. They won't say this person's a narcissist. They'll just say, I don't like them for this reason and this reason. And for those of you here, my sweet empaths, my yummy, juicy souls, you may not realize that you're getting expert advice. Why? Because who is better at teaching you how to pick a lock than a thief? The narcissist understands the personality dynamic, the vast emptiness that is there, the endless need for adulation, the lack of accountability. All of these traits were traits that these other narcissists that were in my life saw within her, but I had decided to put her onto this magical pedestal because she was covert and I had really no experience with it. That's why it's my life's mission to teach about this. But stay tuned. Mercedes, I heard you, my love. Today is a day where I'm actually feeling a lot better than I have in the last week or so. But I will be trying to pull myself together to get a video out about Meghan and Harry. And y'all, when I do it, I'm dipping my toe in something as a Black woman because no one's using their thinking caps right now regarding this girl. And it's infuriating to watch. And I'm watching some of the largest Black American stars in our stratosphere give complicit approval to her, because we all, when you are dealing and you're a person of color, can relate to the struggle of racism. Literally, the relationship that I'm talking about with this covert narcissist in my life blew up because of a racial dynamic that was activated, maybe a sleeper cell that was always there, but then definitely detonated and activated, and it eviscerated that relationship for a myriad of reasons. But one of the primary, if I had to list, it would be racism and her hooking up with a racist person. So when I dive into this, I will tell you, I do so at my own peril and my own risk, because I had a lot of Black people say to me that I was not taking the right side. And I'm like, what is the side of right when you're dealing with a psychological abuse? You guys have allowed this Meghan Markle to gaslight you. Meghan Markle didn't even identify or embrace her own quote unquote Blackness in any way, shape, or form until she found herself in the fortunate position or unfortunate position of being able to say, I am being victimized. And that's not to say that she wasn't. And that was the fine line that I had to toe as I did those previous videos, because racism 100,000% exists. However, we are also 100,000% dealing with a real covert narcissist. And she is not beneath using any single card of every single thing to create chaos. When I watched the playbacks, because I wouldn't give the interview the time, but when I've watched all of the think pieces and read all of the things, because I never come to you guys ill-informed, do my research, I was like, this one is so tricky, and only those of us who are willing to ride this out know how it ends. I don't think that we're wrong, guys, at all. In fact, I was more stalwart after witnessing the grand manipulation, the lack of pushback, both of them so obsessed with their access to power. I'm talking both Oprah and Meghan Markle. Oprah has created in herself, she is the access of power, right? She's created that. And she has dealt with actual racism. And I got her sitting in her body, her brown, beautiful body, looking at Meghan and thinking, sister, I feel you, because racism is something I've experienced the sting of. And I was looking at Oprah and I was like, this is what I was thinking, was this was Oprah's moment. Maybe later she might realize it. And who the hell am I to even speak about this? But I am going to do it. This is her million little pieces. Meghan Markle is her million little pieces. One day, not far from now, she will have to look back at what she did in this interview and realize that she got took. Realize that she was had by a master manipulator. Just like in Million Little Pieces, the guy who fabricated those parts of the book, and Oprah had him back on, and she essentially dressed him down because it impugned her her integrity as a journalist, her journalistic integrity, because she had vouched for on her book club this guy who was a con artist, an addict and a con artist, and embellished, and she was very renowned for the purity of that book club. If any of you guys remember, I was watching this and I was thinking, Meghan Markle is your live version of A Million Little Pieces. You have just been taken by somebody, and because you have dealt with her racism, Oprah, and because you truly do know what it is to be discriminated against, that doesn't mean that Meghan Markle was not, or that she did not have racist things happen. But the part that is making me infuriated and rapidly maddening all of the energy that I have is that no one's looking at the fact that this is a narcissistic personality on full display. For all of us curious about covert narcissism, Meghan Markle's teaching a master class. We do not have it wrong. You are not reading it wrong. You are not seeing it wrong. Meghan Markle uses her color and her race for her convenience, as it is convenient. And I guarantee you, like, I could almost tell you that when the time comes when she no longer feels like she's getting what she needs, she will discard. She will discard, because it's what narcissists do. Also, forget about what narcissists do. What about the pattern that she's done in her life? We've already seen that play out. So I wanted to talk about a couple of those things. Some of you guys might do well to pay attention to some of those crazy narcs in your life when they tell you that someone else around you might be narcissistic, even if they don't say it, because they usually won't identify it as such, but they will say, I don't like this person, with no explanation. It's because they recognize themselves. One. Two, to clarify the Trump thing, he coincidentally got it right, but he was only threatened by her because, as we know with Trump, he is threatened by power, he's threatened by women, he's threatened by God, oh my God, anything. Okay, so that's another thing. And three, this is Oprah's Million Little Pieces. I'm calling it now. I don't know if anybody else will agree. And again, who are we to go up against the Oprah? But the Oprah is not critically thinking. I was watching her when she was at the wedding, and I was thinking, what are you doing here? Not because she's not Oprah. She could be anywhere she wants to be. But I was thinking, Oprah, you're so smart. She's Aquarian. She's brilliant. She's brilliant. You do not become the first Black American billionaire and not be brilliant. She's brilliant. However, narcissists are insidious and clever. And I watched Oprah as sometimes Meghan was saying things that were well rehearsed and very, I didn't expect the grandeur and this, that, and the third regarding the title and Archie. And Oprah was like, really? I could see Oprah's disbelief. She couldn't even suspend her disbelief. And she likes the scoop. She likes the access. But there was a part in her that I watched happen with her body language. Even though she knew what was going to be talked about, even though she's been working this interview probably since the wedding or before, something clicked to her. I wonder, though, if she'll ever say anything, because Oprah does have journalistic integrity. I have seen her correct herself when she's gotten something wrong, but this is so big, and it seems like the lines have been drawn, which is exactly what Meghan Markle wanted. She wanted the lines to be drawn. She wanted us to be so incensed about the racism issue that we would overlook that she has just isolated, separated, and absolutely now gone after, while mimicking in the most creepy fashion, Diana, from everything she's worn. I'm going to connect a video in the video that I do, where I think it's according to Taz, but she has this montage of Meghan literally mimicking everything Diana has worn. She even researched the perfume that Diana wore so that she could wear it amongst some of her first dates with Harry. Covert narcissists are freaking brilliant regarding manipulation. And it's so easy for us that are watching it, that have ever been in an abusive situation, to be like, oh yeah, this is happening. But for Harry, whose mother was everything, who was sheltered in his own way, again, he's no innocent here, but trust me, I can't like slap him with any big, heavy, responsibility, because all of us that have been through narcissistic abuse know exactly what it is to have somebody beguile us, trick us, romance us. We get addicted to their energy. Also, we get addicted to the silent treatments and the devaluations and the name calling. There's a weird, sick energy that happens with abuse, because even if they're abusing us, it's better than whatever the other thing isn't. And so for a lot of people, they're like, well, Harry's a grown man. Yeah, he's a grown man. Have you ever been in a narcissistic, abusive relationship, though? It doesn't mean that you're not a grown man, but it does mean that the narcissist plays on every single one of your weaknesses. And this narcissist, this very ex-royal narcissist, is no exception to that rule. I'll be back, guys, once I can get my thoughts fully together. But as you can tell, this one is going to be juicy. All right, come back and join me next time. Still recovering, guys. Pardon me. And we will continue to figure out these narcissists and evolve together.